Hello! Okay, for math today, I'm going to ask you to get your whiteboard and marker and eraser. So if you don't have that nearby, pause the video and go get those things. I'm hoping you'll be able to follow along with me during this video. So you'll be writing and erasing just like I do in the video. So today's lesson is about two-digit addition. That means numbers that have two numbers in them, like 36 or 48. I'm going to be referring to these animal cards that we worked with last week in order to get these numbers. Remember, you have the animal cards in the back of your math journal if you want to look at them. You don't really need to, but we're not cutting those animal cards out of our journals yet just because we don't want to lose the cards at home. We'll cut them out when we get back to the classroom. But that's where I'm getting some of these numbers that I'm going to talk to you about today is from the animal cards that are in the back of your math journal. Okay, so we're going to learn how to do two-digit addition, and I'm mainly going to be teaching you one strategy today. Your parents might have other strategies that they think are easier and that they want you to use, and that's great. You can use whatever strategy works best for you when it comes to most things in math. But today, I'm specifically going to teach you one strategy. Okay, let's say that I'm a zookeeper and I am measuring animals, and I would like to put a sun bear together with a raccoon and measure how tall they would be if I stacked them on top of each other. Now, of course, that's kind of silly, right? But I can use the two numbers that I know for the sun bear and the raccoon for their heights. The sun bear is 54 inches tall. The raccoon is 23 inches tall. Can you go ahead and write this on your board right now? 54 plus 23. Now, 54 and 23 are both two-digit numbers, and this is not a math problem that I expect you to just know how to do by counting on your fingers or by just knowing it in your head. No, there's going to have to be some problem solving in order to do this. The strategy I'd like us to try out today is using base 10 blocks to solve this. Here's what that would look like. If I have the number 54, I know that I can draw base 10 blocks to represent that number, and that gives me a little visual that shows me how many 10s and how many 1s are in that number. Here's 54 in base 10 blocks, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 ones there. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the number 23. So I can do 2 10s, 10, 20, and 1, 2, 3. So 23. Okay, so now I have a really clear visual of what those numbers look like as 10s and 1s. Now I can just put them together. So I can start over here and start counting the 10s first. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Oh, so I know that this number is going to be at least 70. I had to put an equal sign here and then draw out 7 10s down here because that's pretty large. So it took me some more space to draw them out down here. Make sure you're following along and that you also drew out 5 10s and 4 1s plus 2 10s and 3 1s equals, so far we've gotten 7 10s. Now I can count the 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we have another 7. So I'll draw 7 1s. And now I have my answer. 54 plus 23 equals 7 10s and 7 1s, which is 77. So I can come up here and write 77 as my answer. 54 plus 23 is 77. Now, like I said, I didn't know that off the top of my head. I would not be able to do that with my fingers because I don't have 77 fingers. This drawing out of the base 10 blocks is one strategy that helps create a visual for you. Now, there are other ways to solve this problem, but we're going to practice this base 10 block method a couple more times. Go ahead and erase your board and let me give you another set of 2-digit numbers. Here are the next two numbers that I'd like you to write on your whiteboard. 48 plus 35. I got those two numbers from the length of the orangutan, or I should say the height of the orangutan, and the height of an eagle. So like if we stacked up an orangutan and an eagle, which of course would never happen, but we can imagine, how tall would they be? Well, we need to do 48 plus 35 to figure that out. Now again, you're not going to count this just by counting on your fingers because we don't have that many fingers. A good way to visualize the answer for this is to draw out base 10 blocks. So right now, under the number 48, can you draw out 4 10s and 8 1s? So I've got that here on mine. And then we'll need to draw out 3 10s and 5 1s. And don't forget the plus sign and the equal sign in this equation because we are just drawing a picture version of these numbers up here. And we're going to keep the symbols the same. Now, all I have to do is go through and count the 10s and the 1s. Now, if I'm moving too fast and you need to pause the video so that you can write numbers or write base 10 blocks, please do that. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start reading just like I would a sentence. I'm going to start counting. I'll start with the 10s first. 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm going to skip this other stuff because I'll come back to it. 50, 60, 70. Another 70. Okay, so now I know I have at least 7 10s in the answer number. So I'm going to draw those 7 10s. 7 10s looks like this, right? 7 lines. Okay, now I'm going to go back and count the 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait a second. 13 is bigger than 10. Now I could draw out 13 1s here. That's something that I could do. But I could also save myself a little bit of time. The number 13 is composed of a 10 and a 3, right? 13 is 1 10 and 3 1s. What if I just added 1 10 to this number here and drew 3 1s? Would that equal 13? Yeah, it would. So instead of drawing out 13 1s here, which I could have done, I did 1 10 and 3 1s, which is the same number, 13, but I added 13 in that way because it's a little bit faster for me to draw and it helps me count a little bit faster too. So now I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83. So the answer to 48 plus 35 is 83. And remember, first when I counted the 10s, I got 7 10s, so I drew 7 10s. But when I counted the 1s, I got 13 1s. So I added 13 by doing a 10 and 3, and then counted all of this together to get 83. Okay, erase your board. Let's just do one more of these. All right, here's the next set of numbers I'd like you to write on your whiteboard. I got these numbers from the weight of a koala and the weight of a first grade girl. So according to the animal pages in the back of our book, a koala weighs 19 pounds and a first grade girl weighs about 41 pounds. So I want to know, if we put the koala and the first grade girl on a scale together, what number would we get as the total? So 19 plus 41. Well, again, I'm going to solve this by drawing base 10 blocks and adding them together. Go ahead and draw the base 10 blocks for 19 and then draw the base 10 blocks for 41. If you need to pause the video so you have time to do that, go ahead and pause. Okay, so now I have 1 10, 9 ones, 4 tens, and 1 1, right, to represent these numbers up here. And I can just count them. So I'll start with the tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I'm going to draw 5 tens here because I know my number will at least have 5 tens in it, my answer number. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have 10 ones altogether. Now what exchange can I make? If I don't want to draw 10 ones over here, I can exchange that for 1 long, right? So I don't have to draw 10 ones. I can just add this 1 long right here. And now I can count up my longs, and that's my answer because there aren't any ones over here left over. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That must mean that 19 plus 41 equals 60. Now, like I said, there are other ways to add 2-digit numbers together, but hopefully you learned a little bit about this base 10 block strategy that can help you to visualize those larger numbers and put them together. You'll notice on HomeLink 5-11 that you'll be solving some of these problems with base 10 blocks and animal weights and heights, just like we did on our whiteboards today. So when you do HomeLink 5-11, you'll be able to use the strategy that we just learned. Now I've asked you to do your HomeLinks pages and keep them in your binder so that you can turn them all in together when we get back to school on the 19th. So today, instead of taking a picture of your HomeLinks book or your math journal, I'm actually going to have you do an activity in Seesaw where you show me how you can use base 10 blocks to show how you can solve a 2-digit addition sentence by drawing things in Seesaw. So you'll be answering something there instead of on paper. Thanks for following along today, and I will see you tomorrow.